Hello students, welcome back to my video. So this is the video part number 3 for you, right, on lasers. Okay, now in this part of the video, so I am going to derive some equations. Okay, so some constants we have to derive. Okay, that constants are named as Einstein's coefficients. Okay, so in order to define the constants, so we can say what already we have discussed in the last class about the interaction of radiation with matter, so we'll come across three mechanisms, right? So that is the induced absorption, okay, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission, etc. So in all those things, okay, in all those mechanisms, so what is the rate of absorption, what is the rate of emission, okay, the probability of absorption and emission. So that is what actually quantified in the form of certain constants. Okay, so that constants are actually called Einstein's coefficients. So let us see how to derive that expressions or the constants. So now for that let us consider an atomic system. So what we have already in any matter, so consisting of a large number of atoms in it, and when the radiation interact with the atoms in a matter, what is happening? Okay, that three mechanisms will happen, as you know already. The three mechanisms will happen with the in the interaction of radiation with matter, correct? Okay, now let us consider such a atomic system at an absolute temperature T. Okay, so we have to consider the system at absolute temperature. That means it is not yet excited, any of the atoms are not excited with the interaction of any radiation. So such a system must be considered in the beginning. Then, so in that system, let us assume there are two energy states with number of atoms N1 and N2. Okay, so let us consider N1 and N2 be the number of atoms per unit volume. Okay, in the states of energies as we considered E1 and E2, right? So we have the two energy systems like E1 and E2. So in that we are assuming the number of atoms are N1 in the energy state E1 and N2 in the excited state E2. Okay, so then after that, what is the energy radiation density? So you have to assume that radiation energy density, let us consider as usual according to Planck's law. So energy density always depends upon the frequency of radiation, right? So that frequency dependent energy radiation is considered as always U of nu. Okay, you should consider it as U is the energy of a particular frequency nu. So U of nu. So that is what actually incident on the system, okay, on the matter where the atoms are present. Okay, atomic system is considered. And then under this condition, three possible mechanisms can happen, as I told, that is induced absorption, spontaneous emission, and the third one is stimulated emission. Okay, so we have already discussed how these mechanisms happen. Now let us go these mechanisms again one by one. Okay, now look at here. First one is induced absorption. So already we know that in induced absorption, so initially there are certain number of atoms in the energy state E1, so that is considered as N1. Okay, so on such an atomic system, if the radiation is incident, okay, that is called actually incident photon energy H nu. Okay, so this photon energy is going to be absorbed by one of the atom in the ground state, right? So the atom which absorbs the incident photon will excite and go to the excited state. That is what happens like this, right? So the atom is excited from ground state to excited state, so that now number of atoms in the ground state, that is in the energy state E1, decreases, right? One of the atom is going to N2. Initially there are no atoms here in the excited state, there are no atoms, it is empty, okay, nil. But now after excitation due to the induced absorption, so number of atoms increases in the excited state. Okay, so here actually N1 is greater, N2 is small. Here also of course N2 is smaller than N1, but they are not equal here. Okay, now if you compare this N1, so N1 in the second after absorption will be decreased, because of loss of atom from the ground state to excited state. Here number of atoms increases. So this procedure or the mechanism is called the absorption process. Okay, but due to the induced absorption of a certain frequency, how much absorption of the energy takes place by number of atoms and how many atoms gets excited. Okay, that probability of absorption we have to consider here now. Okay, now let us see what is that rate of absorption. It depends on two factors. You should remember that depends on two factors, that is number of atoms in the lower energy state N1. Okay, how many atoms present in the ground state per unit volume, that is what actually N1. So depending upon N1, rate of absorption depends upon N1. And similarly, it also depends upon the radiation energy density, okay, because there is a incident radiation. So what is the energy density? So depending upon that, U of nu. Clear? So now combine these two dependency in the form of an equation like dN2 by dt, okay, that is the rate of absorption. So that where there is a increase in the number of atoms in the excited states takes place here, that is called actually dN2 by dt. So that is equal to, now the proportionalities are N1 and U of nu. So if you write it in the form of equation, you will come across a proportionality constant, that is called B12. Okay. So to write the constant, I am considering the subscript like 1, 2. What it indicates here? There is a transition of atom from level 1 to level 2, isn't it? That is why 1, 2. So 1 to 2 or 1, 2 you can say. So the constant is called B here, okay, B12, and then this is proportional to N1 and proportional to U of nu, okay. So let it be equation 1. And write down here what is B12. It is called actually Einstein's coefficient for absorption of radiation. So one of the Einstein's coefficient is here B12, and it is called Einstein's coefficient of absorption of radiation, particularly applicable for absorption mechanism, okay. Now let us consider the second one, that is spontaneous emission, okay. Okay, now look at the second mechanism, that is spontaneous emission, okay. So now in case of spontaneous emission, as you know already, there are some excited atoms present in the energy state E2. So there is excited state E2, right. So these are the atoms present in the excited state due to the induced absorption, okay. But still there may be some atoms in the ground state also, that is N1, okay. Now how these excited atoms come down to the ground state? Without any stimulus, without any external influence, okay. So these excited atoms has to come down to the ground state. So then that mechanism is called spontaneous emission, okay. So the atoms cannot stay there in the excited state for long time. So within in the order of 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds, okay, around 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds, so the atoms will come down to the ground state. So in that short duration, if the atoms come down by themselves, okay, by themselves, that property is called actually spontaneous property. So due to this downward transition of the excited atoms, the absorbed energy is emitted in the form of photons, okay. So depending upon the energy level difference, so that emitted photons may have the energy h nu 1 and h nu 2, okay. So of course the energy is different and maybe frequency is also different, okay. They may travel in different directions also, okay, and hence we cannot consider the such photons as coherent. So they are actually considered as non-coherent beam, or the light emitted by that process is called non-coherent light beam also. Clear? Now in this mechanism, so on what factors this rate of spontaneous emission depends then, okay. So write down that the rate of spontaneous emission is directly proportional to number of atoms present in the higher energy state, okay. How many atoms are excited and present in the excited state, that is N2, depending upon that N2 number of atoms in E2, so this spontaneous emission rate depends, okay. That is one point. And secondly, so there is no incident of radiation at all here, okay. So the atoms are undergoing the transition by themselves, and hence we can say it depends upon only N2, that's it, okay. So there is no dependency on the further incident radiation at all, so depends on only N2. So we can write down now that the rate of spontaneous emission as dN1 by d2, because there is a change of number of atoms after this transition. So dN1, you should write dN1 by dt is equal to, so now the proportionality constant is A21 into N2, where it is depending upon N2, the variable is N2 here, okay. So A21, because it is transition from 2 to 1 it is, so A21 you should write, okay. So that A21 is called now the constant called Einstein's coefficient for spontaneous emission, Einstein's coefficient for spontaneous emission. Clear? Okay, now the next mechanism, look at here, stimulated emission. In case of stimulated emission, the atoms present in the excited state, okay, in fact this is actually not called excited state where the atom can stay for in the order of minus 8 seconds, okay. These energy states may be considered as metastable states or intermediate energy states. Above this there may be excited state, but here the atoms are available for longer period, maybe around in the order of 10 power of minus 3 seconds. Okay, so that is longer time compared to 10 power of minus 8 second. 10 power of minus 3 second is longer time. Okay, so the atoms can stay there for longer time, but they can undergo transition only when there is further incident radiation happens here. That is why we need some stimulated atom of right energy. Okay, so this photon is going to stimulate the atom in the energy state E2. Okay, stimulate means what? The atoms are not going to absorb this energy. Okay, so with the influence of this incident photon, so they undergo downward transition and the emission of photon takes place, right? So that is what happens here. After emission, we can see that the atom will come down to the ground state with the help of this incident photon without absorption. So this incident photon will emit again as it is without absorption, but due to this transition one more photon is emitted, right? So these two photons now, if we compare, they will have same frequency and travel in the same direction. Okay, so we can say they are all the such photons emitted, any number of photons of course emitted here, not only two. Okay, any number of photons emitted due to the process of stimulated emission will have the right energy and right frequency, right wavelength, etc. So we can consider photons as coherent. Okay, coherent beam. Light is considered as now coherent beam. Okay, now this particular mechanism of radiation depends on what then? So that rate of stimulated emission is directly proportional to N2, where the number of atoms present in N2 now. Okay, and also depends upon the incident photon energy radiation. That is what U of nu. Okay, energy density U of nu. Okay, so now we can write down dN1 by dt. Again it is a emission process, so dN1 by dt, where there is a rate of change of N1 changes here. So that rate of change of N1 is equal to now the proportionality constant B21 into N2 into U of nu. Okay, so depends upon N2 and depends upon the energy density U of nu. Now in this equation what the constant considered is 2 to 1. So of course the transition from 2 to 1, isn't it? So now it is considered as B21. Okay, so that B21 is the probability of stimulated emission per unit time. Okay, so now totally how many constants we come across? B12 and then A21 and B21. Okay, so in fact all these three are called actually Einstein's coefficients. So but what is the relation between this A12 and B12, B21, etc.? So that you have to see by combining all these three equations. Okay, so let us proceed now for that. Okay, now look at the continuation here. So under the thermal equilibrium, rate of absorption of energy is equal to rate of emission. So we are considering always the system, the atomic system is at thermal equilibrium even after absorption of radiation and after the emission of radiation. So both should be matched. Okay, that is why under thermal equilibrium you can say absorption of energy is equal to rate of emission. So rate of absorption and both rate of emission should be equal. That is why it is called thermal equilibrium. So we have already equations for this rate of absorption and rate of emission. So substitute that now. So rate of absorption is nothing but what? Only induced absorption. That is equal to B12 into N1 into U of nu. Right? That is from equation 1. And similarly, total rate of emission depends upon spontaneous emission and stimulated emission both. So you should write the equations now from equation 2 and 3. A21 into N2, okay, that is actually spontaneous emission, and depends upon stimulated emission, that is B21 into N2 into U of nu. Correct? So substitute that equations 1, 2 and 3 here. So this total gives actually rate of emission. Okay, now I will consider the simplification of this equation. So where we have U of nu and U of nu here. So just take this term in the left hand side and take U of nu as common. Okay, so U of nu is common here and left with here B12 into N1, right? And this is actually minus B21 into N1. When you take it in the left hand side, you will get minus B21 N2, and that is equal to what? A21 into N2, right? Okay, so what I want here is the energy density equation, the frequency dependent energy density U of nu is equal to now. So this A21 and N2 divided by, so this entire term in the bracket, that is B12 N1 minus B21 into N2. Okay. Now again we look at the equation. So we can take I want this B21 into N2 as common. I will take this as B21 into N2 common. So left with inside the bracket B12 N1. So divided by, so same term we have to write here in the denominator because I am taking common here, you know. So if I multiply, it should cancel here. So it's like that. So divide by B21 into N2. So minus 1 only. This entire term is taken common. So minus 1. Clear? Okay. Now in this equation, I can cancel N2 from numerator and denominator, cancel N2. Then left with A21 divided by, okay, B21 into, so N1 by N2 is there of course here, into the constants B12 by B21 minus 1. So this is one standard form of the equation, so that we can compare it to further for Boltzmann statistic equation. That is why I am writing all the arrangements like this. Okay, so write down this up to equation 4 now. Okay, so I will proceed now according to Boltzmann statistics. I want that Boltzmann statistics of population of lower energy state E1 and high energy state E2 are related. Okay, so that relation is now N1 is equal to, N1 is nothing but what? Population of atoms in the ground state. Number of atoms in the ground state is called population also. Okay, is equal to number of atoms in the excited state, that is N2. Okay, is equal to N2, and it depends upon the difference of energy, that is e to the power of exponential, it is e to the power of E2 minus E1 divided by KT. Okay, what is that K? K is called actually the Boltzmann's constant, and T is the temperature at which the system is considered. Okay, so now in this equation I can write now N2 into e to the power of E2 minus E1, I can write it as now h nu, because you know the difference E2 minus E1 is equal to what? Energy of the photon also, h nu. Okay, so that is equal to N2 into e to the power of h nu by KT. Okay, so what is the ratio then? So that is N1 by N2 is equal to e to the power of h nu by KT. So ratio of N1 N2 is equal to now e to the power of h nu by KT. So write down this as equation 5. Okay, now come back to equation 4. Okay, so we have N1 by N2 particularly in the denominator part. Okay, now I can substitute this N1 by N2 ratio as e to the power of h nu by KT, right? So substitute equation 5 in equation 4 here, so that you will get again equation for energy density U of nu is equal to, so that E21 by B21 as it is. Okay, and then inside the bracket now in place of N1 by N2 I will write e to the power of h nu by KT, and this B12 by B21 is as it is, so minus 1. Okay, so write down up to this equation 6, then I will proceed. Okay, okay, now look at the continuation here. So according to Planck's law of radiation, so now that standard equation can be compared easily with the Planck's law of radiation of the energy density. So we have the equation for energy density, right, in that previous equation. So but the energy density is given by Planck's law of radiation also. So that is U of nu is equal to 8 pi h nu q by c q into 1 by e to the power of h nu by KT minus 1. So this is very standard equation for the energy density of any radiation. You will come across in the black body radiation also. Okay, so you should remember this equation, that is 8 pi h nu q, where nu is the frequency, h nu q, h is the Planck's constant, divided by c q, c is the velocity of light or velocity of radiation, 1 by e to the power of h nu by KT minus 1. As I told already, k is again Boltzmann constant and T is the absolute temperature of the system. Okay, now comparing that equations 6 and 7. So just you compare the equation 6 and 7, so that you will come across the coefficient of e to the power of h nu by KT was there already, B12 by B21. Okay, but here in place of B12 by B21 nothing is there, isn't it? So it is, let us say it is equal to into 1. So you can just compare this coefficient of e to the power of h nu by KT as B12 B21 is equal to just 1 only. Okay, so you can see that in the comparison. Now with this equation I can write now B12 is equal to B21, both are equal, right? So no need to consider like separate coefficients as B12 or B21, both are can be considered as a normal constant, that is B only. Okay, So now the equation is u of nu is equal to A21 by B21. Okay, so that is into 1 by e to the power of h nu by kt minus 1. So that equation of u of nu from equation 6 actually. So now in this equation we can write now A21 and B21 are the constants called Einstein's coefficients for spontaneous emission and stimulated emission respectively. Okay, so we have distinct constants A21 and B21. Of course you can call B21 as just B also as a constant for the stimulated emission. Okay, so now in this equation, final equation, so u of nu, the radiation emitted in the system depends on what factors? Depending upon the ratio of A21 by B21, right, and depends upon how much the value is given by e to the power of h nu by kt, right. So based on that we can consider whether what type of emission it is, spontaneous emission or stimulated emission. Okay, so look at the conditions here. If A21 is greater than B21, so that means numerator is very much greater, that coefficients, then spontaneous emission probability is greater than the stimulated emission probability. Okay, or suppose if it is A21 is smaller than B21, then you will get stimulated emission is greater, probability is greater than spontaneous emission probability. So that's why you can write it as vice versa. Okay, and with in terms of h nu by kt, so you can consider that the numerator h nu should be very much small compared to the denominator. So if h nu is very much smaller than kt, then also stimulated emission probability will be predominated. Okay, so that is what actually the discussion on the expressions for Einstein's coefficients. So this is very important to assess the probability of spontaneous emission or stimulated emission after the induced absorption in any atomic system. Okay, is it clear? Okay, then I will continue in the next video. Thank you for watching.